Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P-Funk, thinking right out here in the lab, in the book. Let's go. I've got my teaching hat on. You know the deal. You see that? It's time to go to school. Class is in session. Let's get it on. Right thinkers. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life, and that's what it is when it's done right, through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice when daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get that together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through, because that's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to Maya, be true. Right thinkers, let's talk about how mythology and philosophy assist in lifting the veil of ignorance. Two lessons in one. So I'm putting mythology and philosophy first. I'll bring it back that up with the lifting of the veil. That's what's important. A lesson for self-mastery. That's what this is all geared for. Remember, our goal to what? Know thyself. Let's rock. Mythology and philosophy. Mythology and philosophy are ways, pay attention, to explain that which is pretty much difficult and hard to explain in words. Okay? They put it together so you can articulate it, make it so you can understand it. That which goes beyond the ordinary reasoning faculties. Okay? I know now that what I'm teaching is advanced knowledge, so I know everybody ain't at this level, so that's on you, not me. That's not my problem. But it's all about passing or going beyond your ordinary reasoning faculties of what? The average mind. My mind ain't average. If you want to be average, tell my son, if you want to get C's, okay, that's average. That means you're going to be a worker all your life. You're going to be a mediocre person. They're going to have you doing meaningless job. Why? That's how far as your articulation will take you. If you're a C-level person, okay? That was just my concept then, average-minded. My son, I call him Fathead. Okay, that's his nickname because he expanded his mind early in life, thanks to me. And through stories, similes, which will be able to convey the meaning of what? Deep philosophical principles of thought by myths that carry the message where? To the heart of the listener. If you are a student, when you go to school, you sit in there and wait for the teacher to start elaborating so you can listen and pay attention. And if it's stuff that you like, I did good in the areas that stuff like history, math, that excited me. So I was all ears. Never forget my freshman year in college. I wasn't too studious. At that time, I didn't give a crap. But I'm in there writing love letters home, my girlfriend. I'm in class, he talking, and everybody doing their own thing. He got all of our attention by showing us how smart he was. The next day, next class, I put my seat in front of him and was there the whole time like this. And I learned a lot of sociology concepts and how to use this thing that we call the mind, okay, from paying attention, listening to somebody who's done it. Those are professors and teachers. They're not there because they want to be. They're not there because they know. They're there to teach. If you can get the information, that's your job as a student, to receive the information. So Now I'm in that position. I'm hoping I get y'all front and center if I can get your attention. That's my goal. All right. And mythology and philosophy carry rich, esoteric, hidden message and symbolism that gives wisdom within. But the wisdom from mythology should not be misunderstood as just a story or an event which may have occurred a long time ago. No, in the beginning, no. But think of it as what? Something that relates an idea, a theme, a concept that was true in the beginning. And guess what? It's true now and will always be true. Excuse me, that's the philosophy I practice by Maya philosophy. We know it. Excuse me, she taught another Egyptian yoga, but that's the truth. You can stand on that, okay? It ain't changed in thousands of years. I went and got it, dust the dust off it, and I've been using it for the last 20 years, and nobody noticed. I've been Egyptian for 20 years, okay? I've been in Egypt for a long time, and y'all just hitting around. Okay, that's cool, but that's what I do. That's where I'm at. When y'all figure it out, I'll be right there waiting for you. Y'all coming. I started the concept of consciousness over 10 years ago. Now it's pretty much slung around like it's common. God, I put him out there. Okay, now everybody talking about God. So, I ain't little Richard. They stole everything. Heart, mind, coherence. That's mine. See, so trust me, I've been doing this for a while. And I see it's what? Catching on. Hell, I'm growing every day, so I can't complain. The value of what? Mythology and philosophy, wisdom and knowledge is priceless. Why? Because the value of our ancient teachings lies in the daily application of them. They mean live it, become it, absorb yourself in it. I'm Maya. I live in the liquor of Maya. I just drown myself in Maya. Okay, so that's the concept. What can we learn? What's this? And benefit from our ancient mystical philosophy right now. I'll be the first to tell you. I just told you, I've been in Egypt for the last 20 years, and I'm as sharp as a tack. I'm as good at what I'm doing as anybody else, and I'm getting blessed on a daily basis, and I don't practice no religion. What are you, Sage? Okay, good man, living right, doing right, and getting the things that's due to me. That's it. You only get what you deserve. If you're doing good, you get good stuff. I just gave you less about good luck. Okay, you create that. It's been that way since the beginning. But our ancient ancestors had this thing figured out. Why? They have proven by their own demise that what they did not have or were really unable to apply what all of the truths otherwise themselves. Otherwise what? They will still be around today. Not so fast, my friend. Their demise wasn't at their own hands. Let's leave it at that. We was invaded 6 times. Not once, not twice, not even 3 times. Well, 4 is extreme. 5 is extreme. 6 is just ridiculous. So again, it wasn't our own demise, but everything that we doing now, we got from our ancient ancestors. So they was on point. Ain't nothing changed. I can prove that. That's what I've been trying to tell you. I ain't got nothing new. I know more about the human body and my brain than ever. And I ain't went to Nair College or University. Went right back to Egypt. That's where it started. I know that too. So therefore, it is, or it would be wise to what? Study their philosophy. That's what I went to Egypt for 30 years ago, to find out how could they live thousands of years in harmony. What was it that they were doing? Maya philosophy. I've been doing it for the last 20, and I'm doing fine, personally. Again, I don't control the situation I'm in, but I'm comfortable in every situation I'm in. Why? I acquired self-mastery by living, doing, and practicing what I learned and putting it to use, applying it. That's how it works. That's how I know it works. Guaranteed. Moving on. But that's the answer that question from how it works for today. It will. Implement it. It's the same thing. Y'all just warmed it up with a bunch of nonsense, cut it up, chopped it up, made it commercial, where y'all call it now religions. No, spirituality is spirituality. Learn the truth, practice them, and you ain't got to worry about going to church. You ain't got to worry about paying tithes and all that other nonsense. You be your best teacher, trust me. Otherwise, they would, what? Be here to die if you did that concept. No. Again, they didn't have, let's go ahead. They would be here today. Therefore, and again, it would be wise to study what they knew and to benefit from their wisdom and gain through what? Their successes, and even learn from their mistakes. I know for a fact the spirit ain't coming back to the body. So you can wrap it up, keep it, ain't nothing coming back. We know that now. What? 3,000 years and nothing been back yet. Moving on. So even in their miscalculation or misunderstanding, but that's my thing. In this task, we are sometimes required to what? Unlearn what we have learned in order to really grow in what? Wisdom and gain total consciousness. Sometimes what you was told may not have been the right thing. So in order to learn something new, you might want to unlearn that. And in the education system that y'all get from that man, that's what we talk about now. Unlearn that nonsense. What? It's what it is. Nonsense. It don't serve you. Practice something that will benefit you. I tell anybody, if you practice in Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and you're not blessed, you're practicing the wrong thing anyway. Why? What God that you serve and worship don't bless you. Mine do me every day. How about yours? I know my pastor, his does it, my brother, his does it. So I know my sister. Yeah, everybody who's serving and doing, they get what they deserve. Blessings. Moving on. That's how it's done. And what's this? In this task, sometimes we go, okay, in order to grow in consciousness. The goal is to grow what? In consciousness to what? Know thyself. You got to become conscious of that fact by practicing, emulating what? Spiritual truths and practice spiritual discipline, aka Maya, and it'll get you there. Now, what does ancient wisdom and history mean in our lives at this day and time in history? I'm the right thinking man. My philosophy is Egyptian yoga. I just call it right thinking, but this is what I do. This is where I got it from. I'm going back and having fun. Why? I'm reliving what I learned over 10, 15 years. But matter of fact, this is 20 years. This 30-year-old book. 1995. We're in 2025. Hello? That's a nice little time. And I'm trying to explain to you. That's what I'm saying. So, and they knew what we still ain't figured out yet. How about that? So, are we smarter than them? Not even close. All right? But what can we learn from them in this day and time in history? We can learn from the civilizations that lasted, you ready? For thousands of years. Not one, not two, not three. We talking 4,000 years before anybody. And guess what? The Ethiopians and the Egyptians, or the Cometians, whose recorded history only chronicles the declining period and the only hints at the grandeur that was once theirs. We start in Egypt at 3100 BCE. In BCE, meaning we count backwards from what? What do we start at? 10,000. That's when the Sphinx was built. 10,000 years ago. What? Again, they did the zodiac lineup of the constellation. It was the line, the sign of Leo. Okay, now we're in the sign of Aquarius. We done went all the way around, okay, so to speak, and understanding that's what the Egyptians did. They mapped out the sky. They had the zodiac figured out. The 12 apostles, you got 12 cranial nerves in your brain. I didn't know that. So this information that our ancients knew that half of us don't even pay attention to today, but they disguised it, hid it, symbolized it, put signs and symbols to it, and esoteric meaning so that everybody won't get it, but those who do will. I'm one of those who do. I'm trying to help you be one too. All right, they recorded the history, but that was the history of the decline. When the white man came in 31 BCE, he was in control. Before that, he wasn't even in the picture. That's the difference. So I keep trying to tell you, I don't respect or got a thing to do with him. Why? He ain't been good since he came into the picture. That's why. Should we attempt to recreate this long period of human history, or should we perhaps consider using that as an example of their deeds, and build something new and original, more divine? Ain't happening. We ain't got them kind of people. We ain't built for that. Why? We fight each other. We can't even do good in our own damn household. So how are we going to do good as a people? And then that's why they was all sincere about what they was doing. You got a sincere Christian that ain't going to deal with a sincere Muslim. You got a sincere traditional Jew, ain't going to deal with the Christian. So, separation. That's what religion does. Separates you. It don't bring you together. Moving on. Spirituality brings you together. That's why I can go fellowship with either one of the religious groups. Why? I'm not obligated to nail one of them. But I'm free to. If they allow me, I go to synagogue, I go to mosque, and I go to church. Moving on. That's the spiritual. Shoot. Okay. No, we ain't going to make nothing better. And we can't recreate what they got. So we just ass out again. Right here, ass out. Whichever road that we choose is going to be the wrong one. Why? I know y'all. I know the grapevine. I know my people. Trust me, I know my people. I love you. But because I know you, don't mean I don't love you, don't respect and care about you. I just know your tendencies and your ways. That's knowing somebody. Understand that. I know my people and still love you. How about that? Where we at? Watch this. Now, whichever road we choose, the scriptures, texts of our ancient papyri are not enough. Why? But they are possibly the first step to getting us understanding the mysteries of life and what learning how to live by them, aka know thyself or master ourselves. That's called lifting the veil of ignorance. We don't know ourselves because we're ignorant of ourselves. This next lesson going to be all about that. All right, you ready? Let's go. As I stated, this is the lifting the veil part. As I stated, our ancient Egyptian text, we had a book, the book of coming forth by day. They call it the book of the dead. But the eternal souls that in every one of us comes to earth, I tell you, we're spiritual beings, come here to have what? A human experience. What? To learn lessons so we can make it to the afterlife, eternity. You can't bring ignorance and nonsense to eternity. Ain't allowing it, ain't happening. Conception. I'm sorry, but that's my philosophy. That's what I think. And we're here to learn certain what? Life lessons. What I give you every day? Life lessons. So I get excited. I'm get excited. To what? To become purified. What do you mean purified? A better you. I left. It's a process of spiritual evolution, spiritual enlightenment, where virtues as well as vices are experienced in the physical lifetime by us and all, or our own mental disposition, depending where your mind at. Free your mind, your ass will follow. A lot of us mind is not free. So our ass is following ignorantly. Let's go. Our purity, I just gave you a lesson. How to purify one's heart. Excuse me. Yeah, sorry about that. Where was that? Okay. Purifying the heart is doing the right thing from the heart. Good intentions. Okay. Our purity of heart determines what? Your situations and the outcomes of those situations depend on what? Where your heart at. Okay. Through repeated, watch this. This is the problem. Through repeated embodiments. What's that? Incarnations. Okay, reincarnation. You've been here before. We are led by our own souls here in the physical form to experience the act of what? Living. Physical life. Okay? Why? In attempting all the time to find what they call that ultimate absolute bliss, which will what? Eliminate all pain. How you do that? Control your lower nature. Stop causing yourself problems by doing things satisfying your lower nature. Get spiritual, raise your conscious level, be a better you, and things will change. Why? When you start getting things falling your way, things that's happening good for you, you continue to do that. Why? That's being synchronized with the force. Okay? Things just work out for you when you do it the right way. It's because, watch this, the reason why we haven't done that is because of what? The veil of ignorance. of our true nature and our soul is what? Of God. We don't know that. We say it all the time. We talk about God's this, God, yeah. Well, knowing that is becoming conscious. Watch this. That we interact with everything in the universe as if it really exists. It's all mental, all in the mind. As if we were interacting with entities other than ourselves. We all come from God. We all come from the same thing. So we all same thing. The thread that runs through us all, that spirit, God. So we all are gods. If we knew the truth, I'm trying to tell you that I got the truth. I wouldn't have found it, and I'm just telling you about it. What you think is about what I'm trying to explain to you means nothing to me. If you think I'm telling you a lie, then you can believe what you want. But if you understand what I'm saying, practice it, and you know it to be your truth too. We would become what? Knowing the truth make you an enlightened being. And you get a title. Okay? This is logical perfection. Meaning I perfected what? My mind, body, and spirit. I'm a whole man. I'm complete. Oneself. That's the why. And when we have got my place, God, I don't do that. What is that over here? So, okay, here you go. You become enlightened sage. My pastor, who's a Christian, he's a saint. Thereby, you have achieved what they call ultimate freedom. When you and God, I just got the phone with the brother. He said, Brother Wright, I don't want to be bothered with nobody. I'm going to ask you call why. I'm going to sanctify. I got the lesson this week. I don't want nobody to disturb it and mess it up. So him and God, he becoming one with God in meditation, and he don't want nothing to disturb that. I understand just what he's talking about. Some people might say, oh, he crazy. No, he's not. He's spiritual. He's free, all right, to communicate with God on his terms. This point, he would rather communicate with God than people until it's time to him to do his thing. You give his message. He said, Brother, right? He done finalized it. I said, I love that. That's what he do. And at that point, this point is what they mean by the main theme of Egyptian yoga, and will be elaborated on throughout this volume. What? Knowing thyself, becoming conscious of who you are. Don't worry, it's in here somewhere. I'm getting there. Oh, Lord. Okay, I got to speed up a little bit. I see the clock. Sometimes I don't give a crap about the clock. I got a lesson. I'm going to get the lesson in. How about that? So, anyway, got the clock watching now. Let's start teaching. When you become in tune. Okay, whoa, I lost. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. When the spirit, which is our innermost self, God, is ready, to make the final journey home. He done been embodied, reincarnated. All right, I'm tired of this shit. My man, get your act together, so to speak. Back to the source. I want to go home, okay? Our spirit is on loan from God. Our destination is what? Back to God. So our destiny is what? Divine. We need to go back to where we came. God, it begins to inquire. When you want to go back home, when you want the spirit to say, okay, enough is enough. Now you start inquiring about what? The nature of your existence. And thereby, this causes a little pressure on your mind, your conscious mind, namely that ego. Okay? Start knocking the door. Yo, my man, we don't be doing this. Come on, man. Okay? All right? So to speak. And the ego personality has to what? Acquiesce and give in. But he won't. You got to beat him. You got to beat him. He's not going to give. You know them kind of people? Okay, our Ba. The Ba is our soul. That's conscious to God. We have to put the head on the Ba, the spirit. That's becoming heart-mind coherence that I coined 10 years ago. Our individual God consciousness, which is here, begins to apply subtle pressure to this thing here. On our waking consciousness, not when you sleep, not when you're unconscious, you bumping while you're awoke, in a form of what? Subtle suggestions. That voice, that's what they're talking about. And everybody trying to explain it. We made the cartoons out of it, show the angel and the devil, but it's all trying to get you to understand, okay, with the myth and the philosophy, that's what it's doing. Give me stuff that you can learn from. We will now begin to what? Recognize what? The wisdom of the ancient scriptures if you learn them practice them, you will know and develop what? An interest in books such as this. Okay, my whole library is full of these kind of books. But the author of this book, okay, I've been running with this guy for 20 years, 30 years now. Wow. Jesus Christ, that's a little time, dog. Where we at? So after this happens, okay, now becoming in tune, enlightened, spiritually anointed with what? The pressure from your spirit, now allowing yourself to be guided by what? Your intuition. I said, guiding you where? To the letting go of what? Your ignorant ideas and negative thoughts, which we know now to be what? Untrue or fruitless. Anything that the ego wants is only temporary. Why? It's all physical. The ego is not spiritual. It edges God out. There's no spirit to the ego. It's just selfish. It's just materialistic, okay? And mental purification requires the utmost patience with oneself. If you can't get you to do what you need to do, ain't nobody's going to be able to do it. Think about that. So, where we at? I said, okay. Oh, okay, well, okay. Now, interest, okay, utmost patience with ourselves. So, when you show interest in the world as an absolute reality, that notion there is nothing else beyond this physical world. Ignorant, okay? He didn't believe in afterlife. He didn't believe none of that meant nothing to him. This is it. I'm going to have my fun, and when I'm on, I'm done. Wrong. But after this physical world, ain't nothing left. What? Left behind. But gradually, a new psychological impressions and experiences are introduced until what? We personally become established in what? In this other true reality. Dun, 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 dun. The spiritual world is the real world. The Aborigines and the Native Americans say that the dream world is the real world. Why? That's where you go when the body no longer exists. They got that part right. I agree 100%. You can't argue with that. And we only spend a third of our life in there. But I tell you, going to sleep, you're practicing for death. Simple as that. And you die because you don't become conscious. If you'll get enlightened, you go home, you intern, you got forever to be you. That's the difference. Your conscious go to heaven with the spirit. At this point, when we call it waking up from what? Our unconsciousness, when we have been like used to, as if what? Waking up from a dream. I didn't know. Yeah, hello. We lived in the veil of ignorance. You follow with me? Come on now. I'm trying to get you there. Stay with me. All right, I'm almost there. But at this point, we wake up from our unconscious, as if we wake up from a dream. This is what we call attaining Horushood, Christhood, or becoming Buddha or Krishna. Enlightened beings walking the earth doing great things, helping others to what? Become enlightened. Hello, I'm doing what I do for you. I got mine. These all guys did the same thing. I ain't got to be in that club, that number, don't care. But I'm doing the same work. Moving on. Let's get this one. That which is the fundamental truth. Ancient ancestors had that. The substantial reality, understanding real from unreal. This is unreal. Real is the next life. That's the real one. Why? It lasts forever. This is temporary. This will change. Is beyond the substantial reality. The real truth is beyond true naming, but the wise man will call it the all, the absolute. You becoming one with it. It is the all. It started out the all. It still is the all. It's going to be the all. End all, be all, alpha and omega, whatever you want to call it. That's what it is. When you become part of that, you become the all. Let me take it home now. So there are many paths to liberation. Again, there's 9 billion people. There's 9 billion paths to get to God. Everybody got their own way. But they all lead to the same destination. Whoa, the one, I told you that. The all, again. That is within who? Us. All of us. And all other things in this creation. This world of apparent multiplicity, with many different objects and people are really manifestation of the one true reality. Again, the circle, that's God. Everything in there is of him. The dot is you. You just part of the circle. You in there. How about that? Moving on. Complete understanding, knowledge of self, waking up, becoming conscious, nihas, of this most important point will lead you to realization. That's the name of the game, of the truth, which is, this is what we call self-mastery, the cosmic consciousness, liberation, enlightenment, salvation, etc., whatever you want to call it, but that's what it is. And when you reach it, you will know and you will be appreciated that you did that. Why? Because now, going home, that's a ticket, okay? Wrapping it up. Dispassion, meaning taking your emotions out of the situation, and detachment, don't involve yourself in the situation. And what? These are indispensable sciences and qualities of your character that should be practiced once. And once you fully understand the teachings, now you begin to take what? Root in your heart. You become what? Less and less involved with materialistic things in the world and people. Don't you forget that. Neither loving or hating, neither wanting or not wanting. All actions, they said, my man said, teacher, why we suffer? Teacher said we suffer because we desire. This answered that question right there. When you no longer love or hate, you no longer want or need anything, you reach that level. And all actions have begun to take root, what? In the heart. So now, now you should be based on what? Guided by who? Maya, which represents truth, order, justice, righteousness, balance, and my favorite, reciprocity. No longer is there an action, reaction mentality. Why? I think before I act. I think before I talk. I think before I do anything. That's that's called right thinking in my philosophy. And that react mentality of what? Doing something to someone. Why? Because someone did something to you. Get back. I was adamant about I'm not letting you get one up on me. Ego. Ego can accept what? Somebody being in front of them. You see them guys on the highway? When I was young, I had to be first. I'm hauling ass like a bat out of there. So that's ego-ness, okay? Gotta be first. Gotta be the best. Gotta have all that ego. No longer is there, excuse me. Okay, watch this. Do something, somebody did something to you. Now, one is now what? More and more able to control one's ego, aka your emotions and your behavior behind your emotions. If the ego is not controlled, emotions will take over and supersede what? Your common sense, your rationale, your logic and reasoning. Ego don't care. It's unfiltered. And there no longer would it be necessary to act as an animal, again, and indulge in one's egos when one is what? Ridicule or praise. The ego can't take ridicule and it really can't handle praise. Why? Because it get all swelled up and get beside itself. That's why. And either way it go, it ain't good. That's the point about the ego. And one will live above these ignorant, low-level concepts and praise through praise or ridicule. Why? One will live with one's divine essence and the truth. If what you saying about me, how you feel about me, is not true, then I know it, I don't care. I'm not going to argue, bickering back and forth by somebody lying about me, what they give me a person feeling. Knock yourself out. Have your way. For them, what's this? One will now be able to recognize the ignorance in others. Hello, but recognize it in others means you got to shut it down in yourself. And you will now be strong enough to start exercising what I call empathy and compassion and understanding for those ignorant acting people. I told you, I no longer let it annoy me, upset me. I done figured it out. That's what they are. That's what they're going to do. Leave them at it. When they want to decide to change, they'll let you know. Until then, let them go. And from this position, it's understanding, it will be possible now to what? Do the greatest good, what, for others. Some greatest good, leave them alone. That's the greatest you can. That's what you can do for them until they figure it out. And I tell my mother-in-law, my childhood sweetheart mother. We cool. When she got married, I said, Mom, I said, no. Just be there when she fall. Be there for her. Because you already know how it's going to end up. You just be there when it happens. Sure enough, she was there. She said, boy, you sure know that stuff. You boy, you got that thing. Thank you. It's called life. I've been paying attention. And I know right from wrong. A lot of us do. We just don't act on it. Moving on. Let me rack it up. Greatest goods for others. Thus, a true transformation has to occur from the individual inside. You have to make the change. I'm still him. I just made the change. He never did. He just stayed the same. Okay? And what's this? From this position is possible. Okay, excuse me. Now, but thus, true transformation occurs from the inside. And every individual has the capability and the potential to do just that for him or herself. So it ain't no chosen one. No, your decision. In ancient Egyptian mythology, the scarab is the symbol of transformation. From what? You ready? This is it. Take it on. From mortal to spiritual consciousness. You went from being ignorant of who you are, thinking you believing you're human, to what? Becoming enlightened, knowing now what? You are God. You're God conscious. You know who you are. And this is the maturing of what they call the baby Haru. That's the divine soul that's in you that have to what? Be nurtured by who? The mother Aset. And, she's the life-giving force. Remember, see him as a baby, she's nurturing him. When he gets a little older, she's still hiding him. What? Until he's able to walk and handle his own self. That's what parenting. Well, this is true parenting. She gave him life force, love foundation, nourishing and support. In secret. Why? Hiding him until what? He was old enough to what? To do battle with who? His arch enemy, his father's killer. He got to avenge his father. That's us trying to what? Better ourselves. So when we do that, when we die, we go home with our father. He's already in heaven waiting, sitting on the throne. The concept. Y'all say Jesus sit the right hand of God. That's Haru. That's me and you. All of us. When we what? Know ourselves. With this, she had him do battle with his uncle Set, the ego, representing greed, ignorance, and as a baby tree is fenced off to what? Protect it, so too we must protect ourselves during the what? Educational spiritual process of the spiritual growth. By limiting what? Contact with who? Negative, ignorant people or circumstances, and keeping company with people of a raised consciousness, good people, an enlightened being, aka sage preferably. Yours truly. I got you. I can tell you that I got you. The path of wisdom and action have been emphasized in this book. However, all paths must be integrated, although one may focus on the one yogic path, but you need to understand this others and practice them equally. One will find that aspects of the other are always what? Involved. They seem to overlap, interlock, interchange. And the essence of the journey, the psycho-spiritual journey, is what we call a personal journey for every individual. Why? You got to think to get through. Salvation is what? Accomplished how? Through the efforts of the individual. There is no mediator between man and his or her salvation, meaning you're responsible for you. That's the name of the game. That's the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. Right thinkers, in closing, may you all let it be 100, me 100 minus a day. So I never know that my right thinkers who started to understand the veil, lifting the veil of ignorance and mythology and philosophy have passed away. That was a mouthful. I'll be right back.